Hello and welcome. Today I have with me here something very new and very cool from Lenovo. We've got the Legion 5 series, the Legion 7 series, and there's also the 7i and the 5i, the Intel equivalents of the of the Legion 5 and 7 series from Lenovo. So this here is something new from Lenovo altogether. This is the Lenovo Legion 9. So what is so cool about this hot laptop and what I think is going to be a very popular hit? I don't know if it's going to stay at the sky high prices though it's launching at initially, but let's get this unboxed. This will be a first unboxing on this particular channel, and if there's interest or if you guys like this type of stuff, then I'll continue to do that in the future here. So I'll attempt my first unboxing here on this particular channel. So take it easy and let's get this thing unboxed. So we've got this khaki covered, with the Legion branding. It looks like it's recycled material. It's actually very nicely done. It has a nice texture to it. I would assume it's recycled cardboard. So from there, we'll slide this out. And then we have a black box here with very nice Lenovo branding. And this is almost like foil that's stamped into the box. And this box, it's got this nice, very colorful strip here on the one side, just Lenovo Legion on another side, and finally nothing on the front here. So we'll put this down. I'm assuming that this is the right way up, so let's open up the box. There we are. Oh, that's very nice. So within the box here, we've got sustainability meets future performance and revolutionary design. That's a mouthful of words, definitely. But we've got some Legion branding here, and we're saying unleash peak performance with liquid cooling. Oh, okay, that's new. We've got extreme durability, lighter materials. The future is forged carbon. Now that's going to be very interesting. I'm excited to check that out. And we've got vibrant, fast, immersive Lenovo Pure Sight gaming display. So this is supposed to be a mini HDR laptop. The mini HDR display on this, I believe, is supposed to go above 1000 nits, but we'll have to get in and inspect the specs on that just to make sure. So then we've got here a little sleeve. I guess we pull this tab up, and from this we remove the laptop. First impressions, okay, nicely packaged. So let's put this aside for a moment here, see what else is in the box. And we get a little tab with some literature. So this looks to be some warranty information. Yeah, safety information about the lithium-ion battery cells. And we have a Lenovo Legion, there we go. That's the Legion. I'm going to stop saying this because it's such a tongue twister. Legion 9i from Lenovo, the 16-inch, and I guess 8 is the Gen 8. And of course, there's some shortcuts here that it's describing based on the function key plus, so function Q, R, etc., etc. Nice little handy feature to have. It's got some additional ports information about the laptop. Not a bad reference to keep around. All right, let's go. And there's nothing else in the box here, so I guess below is just the filler. Some stickers. Is that stickers? I believe that is some stickers. It says 3M there. So, this is a paper cup pad. That's interesting. All right, let's put this box aside and let's open up our laptop here. Okay, so here we go. Stand this up, unwrap, and let's take a first look. So we've got the usual, smattering of ports on the back from Lenovo. Let's lighten this up a little bit or bring it into focus. So it looks like we've got an Ethernet jack. I wonder if this is 2.5 gigabit. We've got a USB Type A port, Type C, another Type C, full-size HDMI, and then the Lenovo Slim Tip adapter, which is very common on Lenovo's laptops, particularly on their prosumer line and on their business line of devices. So let's start at the bottom here. Let's see what the cooling solution on this puppy looks like, because I'm very interested to see how they implemented liquid cooling on this particular laptop. So it's a nice felt sleeve. This could double as a cleaning cloth when you need to wipe down that gorgeous, hopefully 1080 or 1600p actually mini LED screen. So here we are, we got the laptop. All right, just let's see, can we see here? I may need to turn up the light a little bit, so let's see. There we go. All right, so it looks like we've got one fan here, 2 and 3 fans perhaps. So one cooling fan here, one cooling fan in this area, and a smaller cooling fan here. Maybe this is the vapor chamber inside that has the sealed liquid coolant. I assume there's no way to inject actual liquid coolant into this device. Yeah, that would be my assumption. I believe that assumption would be correct, because I don't see unlike some of the other manufacturers where you have the ability to inject or plug in a off the back. Oh, this is beautiful. Let's look at this. So this is that carbon, forged carbon cover that we're talking about. And I must say, first look at this, it is simply stunning. So it's really hard to describe this, but the feel in the hand is it's stunning. It feels almost like marble, but a matte marble or some very high-tech material. It's certainly something I've never felt before, and I haven't touched a lot of carbon fiber or forged carbon devices, unless maybe if you have a Ferrari or something lying around in your garage, then perhaps you have. So I like this nice little lip up here. It says 1080p for this webcam. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'll try to lift it up a little bit, so maybe need to focus again. Yeah, so 1080p here. This is also a great place to grab and to open up the lid. So we'll see if we can do a one-hand opener here. We've also got some labeling on the back, which is very traditional for Lenovo for a few years now. It's basically the labeling for the ports. So we've got here an Ethernet port and some other port labelings that we'll get to later in the full detailed review. All right, so let's give it a one-hand open, and beautiful, gorgeous. Opens with one hand perfectly with ease. So it's very well balanced and very well laid out in terms of the actual weight distribution within the laptop and the internal components. So let's remove this cloth, screen protector rather, and also this warranty sticker and additional information. All right, so here is the laptop, and I must say it is very beautiful to look at. I mean, it has a nice soft touch matte surface here. Oh, this is premium of premium. I have not seen a Lenovo device look this good. And we've got some sticker work here, RTX, i9, some e-support from Lenovo, and we've got some function queue shortcuts for toggling through the different modes. And the keyboard looks fantastic. It's a pretty much standard Lenovo keyboard that you get on almost all of their devices here. So let's do a little touch. Oh, it's a little bit stiffer, but it feels nice to type on. It has good feedback. And here's the display. Let's see if we can put this 180 degrees down. Oh no, not on this particular model. That's unusual for Lenovo. And we have power button up here. I'm assuming it looks like a Surface that has an inbuilt biometric, so perhaps a fingerprint scanner. We'll have to test that later on in the review. And on the left-hand side here, or excuse me, the right-hand side here, which is very common now for Lenovo for the last few generations, is we have an E shutter, which is basically an electronic shutter for turning off, for disabling that webcam so you have a little bit of privacy. So if you flip this over here, it blocks out the webcam, it disables it, basically it electronically disconnects the circuit, and pushing it onto this side will re-enable it again. Looks like here we might have a Thunderbolt port. We'll have to check that. Kind of hard to see at this particular angle because it's kind of blurry. And from the front of this device, it looks very, very attractive. I think it's actually done very well, and it is actually quite thin. Even though there is a little bit of taper work happening here, it's not quite as thick as some of the HP Omens, for example, which are much chunkier, or even the Victus 16, which I just reviewed on my channel. So it's definitely a departure from that particular type of design language. And on the right here, we've got, looks like a full-sized SD card, but probably does not insert all the way. So I guess it may stick out halfway or so. And we can see some of the venting here in this vent work. So that's a pretty big and broad vent. Now this thing is powered by a 4090, so we'll have to wait and see how it actually handles. And we've got headphone jack way up here in the corner there, headphone microphone combo jack. So it's a bit unusual, but yeah, if we flip it back around to the ports, now with lighting a little bit better, there we go. We can see we have a full-size Ethernet jack, we have a USB type A port, but that's very low in terms of A ports. We only have a singular A port. Oh, there's another one on this side. So we have another USB type A port on the back here, along with, this is on the right side, so we've got the toggle switch for the webcam, the E shutter, we have a USB type C port, and we have a USB type A port on this side as well. So thank you for that, Lenovo, because that means we have, no, not on all sides, we have two sides. We have one on the right, I guess for a dongle for your mouse, and then here we've got the two USB type C ports. Now neither of these are marked. Actually, they're both Thunderbolt 4 ports. Thank you. Thank you for that, Lenovo. HDMI 2.1 port, I'm assuming that's hooked up directly to the 4090 in this device, and then the slim tip power adapter from Lenovo. So let's set the laptop aside for a moment, carefully. All right, and let's look at the power supply. So the power supply comes in just a typical cardboard box like this. I assume it's nothing special. It's not a GAN power supply. It's probably just a very standard, you know, run-of-the-mill. Let's see, what have we here? Oh, it's really packed in there. Double layered. Oh, that's interesting. So we have here our typical ATX power supply, nice and chunky. It's probably going to be 330 watts or maybe even more than that, I would assume. And then here is our power brick. Yes, pretty standard for Lenovo with the slim tip offering. And let's pop this out here. We'll check the wattage quickly. Set this aside. Boxes aside. Oh, so it's wrapped in a carbon paper. Very nice. Or it looks like maybe carbon paper. How do you open this? Oh, you tear it down here. Or not. What? Where do I grab this? I guess you got to do some digging in with your nails here. Or just rip it down the side. Oh, come on. Why did you make it this hard, Lenovo? And can we not slide this off? No, because this is holding the end on. Okay, now we should be able to slide it off. There we go. I don't want to completely destroy it. All right, so we have here a Lenovo power supply for this Legion 9i. So this one runs at 330 watts and 20 volts. I think this is a little bit smaller perhaps than the one I've seen on the Legion 7i or 7 Pro, but roughly the same size as, you know, say a big smartphone, maybe a little bit larger. It's definitely heavy, probably weighs upwards of a pound. And we have our slim tip adapter here. It's tucked away in the, let's pull this out. There we go. So this is our slim tip adapter for Lenovo, very typical for Lenovo devices. Let's put this aside for a moment. And let's see what else we have in here. So we have another cable. So this must be for the, that's interesting. Now, why did they give us two power supply or power cables? This is a typical ATX power cable. And this one is a, I believe this is called a slim tip ATX. I'm not sure. But we have two power cables in the power supply box. So that's very interesting and very curious. And we have, looks like, what is this here? So Lenovo part number and serial number. But what is inside? And let's see, I don't have my handy dandy knife today. Sorry. You have to excuse the crudeness because I don't have my knife. I've lost it. And what is this? Legion. So what exactly does this do? Is this a USB light or a speaker? I have no idea. Oh, it opens. Does it? I'm not sure. So we'll have to explain what this is in the review for sure. Let's put that aside for now. And looks like we have another power supply. So what is this power supply for? So this is USB Type-C. And does this thing have a power input anywhere? It does not. Maybe this is for customization and there's components that can, you know, configure your device. But anyway, we'll have to get to that in the full review. This is an unboxing. I'm looking at this device the first time, just as you guys are. So please bear with me as I try to kind of navigate what's in this box before we get the device turned on. Okay, so we have another Lenovo 140 watts. Hey, are they supplying us with two power supplies in case we want to carry just, you know, a light load and get to school or work? And we can run off of this without needing the giant brick for the rest of our journey. Perhaps. So it'll be interesting to see. So this one is at 140 watts and it's a USB Type-C. It's nice to have that. I don't know why more manufacturers don't do this. It's only a few dollars extra to provide these things, and particularly when you're selling this is a $6,000 Canadian laptop. So I do not understand why it needs to be such a large issue. So we'll pause for a moment here and we'll come back once we've got everything wired up, plugged in. We'll turn on the laptop for the first time and see what the initial boot looks like. All right, now that we've got everything wired up, let's plug in our power supply here. And I love this because you can basically just touch, feel, and plug this in. It's very easy to do. It's very handy. So I love that. Oh, we got some lights here. Thank you for that. I believe we had these lights on the Lenovo Legion 7 and 5, or only 7, 2 years ago perhaps, and then they decided to get rid of them for whatever reason. So very easy one-hand open. Let's power it up. beautiful colors. We've got a glow light here underneath. We've got some ground effects happening, guys. So yeah, I don't know if you can see that. No, it's very hard to see. I'll have to really tilt this quite a ways up. There we go. We've got some ground line effects, and they wrap around the device on either side. I believe I saw this on the Lenovo Legion 7 Pro. So nice for that to make a comeback here. If you're a fan of RGB, you're going to have lots of color all over your table, all over your desk, all over your lap with this particular device. So let's see it powering on. And first initial impressions of this display is, wow, there is no backlight bleed whatsoever. I don't think I've seen a display that has such little backlight bleed. Of course, other than the Acer, well, actually, that's not true. The Acer Predator Helios 18 did have some issues with backlight bleed, but this is just blowing it out of the water. The sharpness and clarity is just unreal. First impressions are very, very good on this particular screen. The display, one issue that I've noticed right out of the box already is that the mouse cursor doesn't seem to be activating. I have no mouse cursor on this particular device. I had to use the keyboard navigation to get through basically the initial setup here. I'm just going to take a quick look. I'm going to turn off my overhead light, and let's see what the actual display looks like, because you need a very dark environment to really look at the backlight bleed on this display. And this is nearly an edge-to-edge display, very close to what a XPS 15 or a Dell XPS 17 look would be, almost nearly borderless edge on at least two sides. You have a little bit of a lip on the top for the webcam and the microphones, and a little bit on the bottom, but very, very nice. It's beautifully constructed laptop. I'm very much in love with this cover here, this carbon fiber or this carbon stamped lid here. It's beautiful to look at. This is a very nice soft touch surface. I wonder how this will handle fingerprint oils and over the duration of the ownership and the longevity of this device. But I can say here that first, getting into our desktop, this device is gorgeous. If I can figure out how to get my trackpad to work here. So is there some key? Okay, maybe I've pressed F10. There we go. Oh, there we go. The mouse is back. I must have hit F10 while I was trying to activate go through the setup process. And I gotta say that they definitely picked the right wallpaper here to really show off this display. So I've just enabled display HDR mode in here. If you go into display settings, I've toggled use HDR. Let's try to turn up the brightness here and see where we get. Oof, it's eye-searingly bright. I believe in SDR content, it'll go to about 500 nits. This is what I saw with at least the Predator Helios 18, so I'm kind of going based on that assumption. And actually, the resolution on this display is much higher than I had initially guessed. It's actually a 3200 by 1200 display, which is brilliant resolution. And the clarity on this device is absolutely stunning. The sharpness is unreal. It's not quite a 4K display, which I don't mind at all. We don't really need that taxing hit on the display nor the graphics of this device. But 32 by 1200, it's much more so than 1600p even, and even 1440p. But you're gonna get lots of clarity and sharpness on this device. So that said, what we'll do here is let's go into Lenovo Vantage. I love to fire up the fans here. I can already hear the fans are spinning up. And it's starting to get warm here, and we were just basically uninstalling one singular app and rebooted our laptop here. So here we are, Lenovo Vantage. Looks pretty typical what I'm used to with the Lenovo laptops I've reviewed this year. It looks very, very similar. Let's jump in here and see what modes we have. So as expected, performance mode, there's a balance mode with, of course, the AI engine that's enableable, or it can be enabled. That sounds like a lot. Quiet mode, and then we have a custom mode. So let's try custom mode. So this puts it into a performance profile. We've got 119 watts on the CPU, very typical stuff that I'm used to seeing on the other Lenovos. And if we crank the fan speed up, this is what I want to see. How loud can we get? So I'm doing this live here on this particular video. No editing, no other noise cancellation in my environment here. I'm just going to let them ramp all the way up. They're quite slow to ramp up actually, and we'll see what that noise level is like. Oh, I can definitely feel the air intake around here. So it's off to the sides, not so much the center. This is probably where the heatsink and the vapor chamber are that has a liquid cooled sealant inside. But on the sides here, we can definitely feel the air intake at the top of the keyboard, and definitely the hot air exhausting out the sides. and also out the back here. So we can see here that there's heat exhausting on this side, and on this side, of course, the center block is for ports. It's warm there and toasty, but I'm not really sure what's going on considering we're not doing anything. So that's just a quick first impressions and an unboxing video of the Lenovo Legion 9i, new for 2023, with all of the best Lenovo basically has to offer in a particular laptop. We'll have to see how this fares in our extensive testing, thermal testing, noise testing. We'll do all kinds of gameplay testing and benchmarks on this device, as well as looking at all of the other aspects of this device itself, usability, how the weight handles, is it actually thin and light as it should be, can it perform with that 4090 in here, and the CPU, and what benefit, if any, does that liquid cooling bring to this laptop, and should you, if all of those things check out, spend $6,000 Canadian on a laptop like this. So stay tuned for that. I hope you enjoyed this short video, and please excuse any of the roughness around the edges. I wanted to do this live. This was, completely going in blind. I did not read up anything. I did not look at any specs. I basically ordered the laptop, waited for it to come in, and did this video live for you guys. So hope you guys enjoyed this type of content. And if you appreciate it, please like and share across your social media channels. And of course, get subscribed to my channel to stay up to date for this content. And we'll see you in the next one.